Hey guys, this is FLUFF, and today I'm going to be analyzing one of my replays for my Chen guide on Game Leap. In this game, this is a open qualifier match, so this is going to be more of a coordinated game compared to a pub, but we can definitely get into one of those games as well. I just want to show how a Chen would be played optimally, so that you understand like where you can kind of aim for. So in this game, as Chen, I bought out the first items. Keep in mind this is on the patch before the new patch where they changed some of the item builds, but it's pretty much the same concept. You want to buy out all the support items early, including the courier, the ops. In a lot of games I don't feel like I need sentries, but I'll keep that in mind. I like to pick up some clarities just so I can do a lot of sendbacks in the early game. You're going to see that happening. And just having the clarity helps me send back multiple units without feeling like it's going to hurt my early game too much. I like to have clarities in general just over the course of the game because Chen sometimes does run out of mana, especially when you go into these gank attempts. And yeah, you always want to have a full mana pool pretty much on Chen. So I pulled mid, and right now we're going to go ahead and collect the Bounty Rune. As Chen, you want to make note that you can't really defend the Bounty Runes too much, so yeah, you're just a body there for more support. You're there for right click if something does go down, but if your opponent's just way stronger than you, back off. It's much more important that you start here in the off lane and you can get this sent back into body block. This will help your offlaner a lot as it screws with the lane equilibrium and gives your offlaner pretty much a free level 2, which can be really big, as he'll be out leveling the opponents and getting things that he would not normally get. So it doesn't matter if you send back range or melee. I send back melee because they're just much simpler and they're closer to the front. Not really a big deal. I'll go ahead and just send back creeps until the 1 minute mark or nearing the 1 minute mark when the creeps will spawn. This allows me to have an impact without actually having creeps, and it really screws with enemy safe lane. So I'm just keeping an eye on lanes, and right here is where I'm going to consider what's happening or what creeps are available and then make a decision. So a couple things can happen here, but in general, with decent RNG you're able to get at least one good creep. So here Wildkin, not so good. Centaur, very good. In this situation, I'm going to go ahead and clear it off. And then I'm thinking about like, how can I use the Centaur to impact the lanes? So knowing that the safe lane of the opponent is very weak, I see Rubik and Shakiro, I know that they pretty much have no way to stop me with a creep. They have low damage, and generally fat, slow heroes are easy to deal with. I know that they might pull, so I go ahead and just stop it. This is one reason why as Chen you don't want to like farm so much as just get a good creep and start the action immediately, because you're just so strong at this stage and there's nothing they can do really. I'm gonna drag the creep over. I like to harass the opponents. I keep in mind that the hard camp is not blocked, so I know that there's a creep I can go to, so I'm not afraid to just make trades here. And then obviously at 2 minutes I'm thinking about bounties. Go ahead and get the bounty. I see that there's that creep there I mentioned before, so having the Centaur trade is no big deal. You always do want to clear off these creeps, so I'm trying to do so right now while I'm collecting bounties. That way I'm going to respawn a new camp and have more options. Controlling the bounty is just really obvious. And then with this DD I feel like I have a lot of potential. I'm just going back in, putting more harass on the supports. You can see that the supports are so preoccupied with me that they can't really deal with zoning my Omni or helping him out at all. Helping the Lone Druid out at all, and I'm just doing tons of damage and tons of distraction here. So I just put a ward down for the kill. That is just specific to this game, not really something that you want to do. Fortunately I didn't clear up this camp. My Satyr is low, so I'm thinking that I need to head back and get some more new creeps. Generally, you have a good selection here. And but as we can see, we have an Alpha Wolf and a Wildkin. In this situation, neither of these creeps are really good. Like, they're not active creeps, they don't contribute much to ganks. My Satyr is low, and I want to clear out this camp. I want to clear out these two camps now, because I don't have another play. I brought myself a smoke and boots so that I'm able to make moves. I'm going to go ahead and just clear out these camps and then try to farm up my level 3 and also get the 2 new creeps at the 4-minute mark. More useful creeps. So now my mindset is always like, how can I pressure the lanes? Especially the off lane at this point. It's very abusable. I did a lot of damage. Got a really good spawn here. I mean, pretty much any creep besides Wildkin would have been nice here, but I could have always found creeps anywhere else. I could have walked into the enemy jungle. I got a Mud Golem here. Good creep. Mud Golem plus Penitence. It's really easy to get kills. I decide that I see the Jakiro, I'm just going to run in, but fortunately my smoke breaks as Rubik was collecting the bounty rune late. Or just in the area. I could have walked through the high ground, but either way it's all good. Still doing the harass that I want. I'm making them very fearful of my positioning. I know that if they misstep, I can really just do tons of damage and blow them up. Creating a lot of chaos here. I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up a little bit. So they're just harassing me, it's no big deal. I have lots of like creeps I can go to if I need to. There's this whole left side of the Radiant jungle. Constantly applying pressure. Eventually they will run out of regen. It doesn't cost me anything. It's much more beneficial for my team for me to be active and not really just racing and farming. I see really good creeps here. I can either gank mid or bottom. But these creeps are really, really powerful. I know that most likely net me a kill. Easy combination there. In this situation, you should have Mud Golem set up as, for me, it's number 2, and then Ursa number 3, highlighting all of us, plus my hero plus the creeps. That'll be my number 4, so I have them all selected. Easy ganks on mids. So right now I just have lots of control. I want to just be rotating between these lanes looking for kills. I know that with this combination, kills are super easy to go for. Level 4 is not too important. Test of Faith level 1 does nothing really. Alright, so we got a couple of ganks. Now, send back Sammy Boy here, because usually after ganks, your cores run out of mana, and it's really, really nice for them to reset the lane on the same foot as the opponent, who's going to be TPing in after dying, with full HP and mana. You can see right now I'm running low on mana. I'm definitely thinking about picking up like my Arcane Boots or Clarities. So right now I would pick up Clarities, but I'm so close to Arcanes that I'm just going to go ahead and save the money for it. I know that these ganks are not really going to work out. Like, I mean, in the sense that they're not, it's not necessarily high risk, but it's like a very small percentage chance of working, but it's mostly about the harass. Right? In those types of situations, I'm trying to force out TPs or force them into defensive positions, and that really helps a lot. In this game I decided to go for Heldress first, but normally I go for the Arcane Boots. Arcane Boots are just much more useful. In this game I'm not sure why I went for Headdress. I think it was mostly because I was trying to just consider if I wanted to rush Helmet Dominator, which is something I will do from time to time if I'm having a really good game. Now the game kind of plays itself out for as far as Chen goes. You want to, like, I've done a lot to impact the early game, and now I'm just going to rotate with my team wherever they are, wherever the opponents are, and put pressure as best as possible. And you see another send back. It's really good. You never want to force the issue. So as you see, they're defending really well. I'm thinking right now, like, I'm gonna get level 5. And I'm saying, like, I'm gonna get arcane boots. This gives me another power spike, 3 creeps and arcane boots. It's really nice for my team. And I'm thinking now just, like, they're kind of leaving bottom. I want to see if I can overwhelm bot, if I can push anything. Send back Omni, he survives. I know that they don't really have a way to kill me here, so I'm just harassing them. But I want to take over this jungle, create space. I see that top is pushing. I know that they either react to top and I take bottom, or they react to bottom and we take top. So it's kind of like, just by being here, it's enough. So we see that they did react to bottom, and that top can push in pretty hard. I want to just keep safe and make sure that I'm maintaining that pressure. And as long as I know they can't kill me, then I'm fine to stay here. Now that my team's rotated towards mid, we're taking mid at the same time as bottom, or as we're pressuring bottom, force out a panda ulti. Make sure to let my team know. Transition a core to bottom as we take mid, and then we can continue to push. The games generally do play themselves out. It's a lot about knowing how to micro and just getting that down, and then having the right mindset for putting pressure on your opponents, going for those ganks, prioritizing that over farming, and then making sure you're getting to your next power spike. So here, this was one of my first games on the patch. I tried to buy the Ring of Health side shop, obviously a mistake. There's one at the secret shop. The advantage about buying headdress first is that you can complete Helmet Dominator outside the base without needing the courier. So that's a really good thing to note. As we take each outer tower, the thought of just like taking Roshan is something that I'm thinking about. Pushing the high ground as we see that the team is somewhere else, and Chen can definitely threaten the high ground at this stage of the game. When it's like just under 15 minutes and they gave up 2 towers in a row, I'm just gonna keep going for it. Now, this game is an example of like an ideal situation, but I'm gonna talk about that after. So, FLUFF is probably one of the best creeps that I like to consider when I get Helmet Dominator. That's probably my number 1 creep that I like to go for. Just boost the output of my team by so much. You're gonna see here that the game is pretty much over, and hopefully, yep, you can see that. Okay, so right here, my Ursa and FLUFF. I talked about this. The Ursa hitting the clap at this stage of the game is not as useful as just having the attack speed aura. You know, if fight breaks out, you can see that I have these creeps microed as a group, and they're kind of towards the back. This is to make sure that the creeps don't die and that the auras will be impacting my team. I make sure that my active creeps are forward, which is the Net, Centaur, and the Satyr, and I use those to fight. Then I just have my passive creeps in the back. That's an example of Chen in a really good game, and then I'm going to go ahead and look at maybe one pub game, and then another one like in really hard situations.